good news. The Motorola Moto X Force is now coming to Europe and other countries. And as you can see here, it's a real Moto X because as soon as you approach your hand or you grab the phone, you will have that Moto X screen or Moto info screen here on the front. I will show you more a little bit later, but let's start with the optics and then with the specifications. Yeah, that Force is coming because of the screen shall be very resistant to scratches and breaks and whatever. You have a warranty for 4 years of that. But I won't take the hammer right now at the moment because the Moto X Force devices are rare still at the moment. So I will first have the test and everything done, and then I can grab the hammer and everything, and I will try that later on. But let's trust Motorola that the screen will take some scratches and some drop tests. Yeah, let's start with the haptics because I really like that backside. That's not only looking like nylon, it's called ballistic nylon. That's really nice to feel because first of all you have a good grip for your fingers, sure, but most of all I like it because it's not that cold like metal, like this metal frame here, or like glass. So it's really nice to have it in the palm, and especially with that metal frame around here, very high quality, very solid. Especially I'm trying to wind it, you do not hear anything, and especially you do not see any white or black dots where the display is dropping down. So a good quality, definitely what that belongs. And especially of course you have that screen that's 5.43 inch or 138 millimeters, and especially you have that resolution of 1440 by 2560 pixels. That's a density of 541 ppi, 70% above the average. So really sharp, as you can see here for yourself. These texts here are really tiny and especially very thin. Nevertheless, really sharp, good display, love it. On the other hand, it's of course OLED because you couldn't do anything like that here with an LCD, or it wouldn't make much sense as everything would be lightened from the backside. So it's just making sense if you have only these little spaces here really consuming any power. So to make sense of that feature here. But on the other hand, it's not the brightest one. So if you look at that, for example, here, it's just 349 nits. So for an OLED, it's totally okay. It's 5% above the average for OLEDs. But for LCDs that have 400, 500 or more nits, so you have, of course, you can read it better in sunlight, for example. But on the other hand, that's, in my opinion at least, a theoretical discussion with that LCD and OLED, because look at that, let's call it a virtual sunlight here. As long as all these smartphone displays are with that surface here, very high reflecting surfaces, it doesn't matter much. If you have an OLED or an LCD, you can't read in sunlight, you have to go in the shadow. So it doesn't matter for me at all. So let's call it like that. I wouldn't depend my buying decision on the fact if it's OLED or LCD, because quality, in my opinion, is great. And especially if you have a look at that, it's OLED has the advantage that you have a very good stability, viewing angle stability. That's something you won't reach with IPS, even if it's a dual domain. So quality, in my opinion at least, is top. And I want to show you up here that slot because you have two slots. The first is a nano SIM, the very tiny ones, and the second one, for me it's the first time I remember that Motorola is doing that combination slot. So you have the choice to use a micro SD card, officially up to 2 terabyte. I know doesn't exist at the moment. I guess 200 gigabyte at the moment is top, but you're prepared for the future. Or you insert here this way up a second nano SIM, so you have dual SIM functionality, at least as long as you do not need to extend your memory. Yeah, internal memory, that's a little problem because I've been told that there are two versions of the phone, 32 and 64 gigabyte, but at the moment, at least here in Germany, Europe, I don't see much about that 64 gigabyte version. So let's start with that one here, 32 gigabyte, and maybe in some countries is already available or will be somewhere the 64 gigabyte version. And from that 32 gigabyte, you have a net memory left after updating all the system and all the apps that are pre-installed, but this is pure natural. This is for me that and 2 to 1, but that's all. So you don't have any much apps, but if you updated all, you have a net memory of 19.4 gigabyte net memory left. 19.4. That's the value you should calculate with, plus memory card or dual SIM. On the other hand, you have seen already, I guess, this one here. Yes, this is a front flash for that camera over here, shooting photos with 5 megapixels and videos in full HD. And on the back side, we have 21 megapixels. Two tone flash here, two LEDs, and especially videos in 4K. And both backside and front side camera shall have an aperture of f2.0. That should be good for a smartphone because gathering a lot of light. So I hope at least for good picture and video quality on the front and the back side. All of that will come in the final test, but at the moment this is a first view in this video to give you some first impressions. On the other hand, you have already detected, I guess, that this is not to be opened, the backside over here. So battery is built, fixed in, but has two advantages. First is it's a 3760 milliamps battery. That's huge. And second one is you can charge wirelessly via Qi standard or PMA standard. So both is supported. So if you have a Qi or PMA mat, you can put it on there and that it's charged very, very comfortable. So a runtime test, of course, again, like in the test, coming on my website, mobiwatch.net as soon as possible. Give me 1 or 2 weeks because of the holidays at the moment. So maybe beginning of January, somewhere about that. Snapdragon 810, meaning you have the most powerful chip on from Qualcomm, at least at the moment. The 820 is announced but not available still, meaning you have 4 cores, Cortex A57, 2 gigahertz, and the other 4s are Cortex A43, 1.3 gigahertz, 3 gigabyte of RAM. So I really, really hope for good benchmark results. And you see already, but that's no big deal here. It's very, very fluidly, but that's nothing has happened here at the moment on this device. So this is no big deal. It's no problem to do that. So, but nevertheless, Snapdragon 810, I hope for good results. You will have 4G with 300 megabit per second, dual cell HSPA, Wi-Fi AC, Bluetooth for 1 and NFC. And especially, like I've told you, all these special Moto features, starting with that one over here. I've shown you already, and especially you can, if you want to. You don't have to activate this feature. Something like, okay, Moto X, talk to me. That's great. He didn't understand me. So let's do it like that. Okay, Moto X. Okay, Moto X. Get list of commands, exactly. Okay, Moto X, get list of commands. Here we are. That's what I wanted to show you. Here you will get all the audio commands you can use. And don't we have that talk to me at the moment? That's interesting because that was activated some minutes ago. Just saw it over here. So let's go into the settings and see what happened. Because we can use this one over here and have that one. Settings, notifications. No, here are the voice commands. It's activated. Commands were unlocked. I do not see. Okay, Moto X. Get list of commands. Tja. Okay, Moto X. Talk to me.
Okay.
That was short. In the German version, she's talking a lot more, and especially she's getting that very much better. So maybe this is coming because I first started the device with the German language and input here, and then switched back to English. Maybe it's coming of that, because in the German version it was no problem at all to have all these voice commands. But I guess you will have experiences with Moto X and these voice commands. So I hope that you know what I'm talking about, that you can do almost everything with these voice commands. Plus, in addition, this Moto features. So for example, here with these assists, so you can add new rules. For example, if you want to have mute your device and keep it quiet during all your meetings that are in your calendar, he will look over that. Or you have more actions doing on gestures here. Voice, I've shown you already, and especially you can choose here what you will see in this lock screen information called Moto Display. This is chosen by default. You can deactivate everything or show everything in that ambient display. I would suggest not to do the latest, because if you have this one here and everybody can see what, nope, he doesn't like me today. Everything wants that everybody can see here what you're looking at. I'm not quite sure if this is the best choice, but you can do, of course, if you want to. So I've shown you this one here. Yeah, last of all, it's the price. At least here in Germany, Europe, it's incredible high. We're talking about 699 euros for the 32 gigabyte version, including tax, all right, without any contract, but that's really, really high. Okay, you have a great camera, you have a great solid, stable phone, you have that great display here, especially very sharp and everything, but nevertheless that's a little bit too high, I guess. So let's hope that prices are dropping down like they are in the US markets. There this device is known as Droid Turbo 2. Let's hope for the best, that's getting better. But for the moment, I guess for a start, in most markets it will be not the cheapest one. I hope I could help you a little bit with these first impression of the Motorola Moto X Force or Droid Turbo 2. Thanks for watching, take care and bye.